Time to play! Of course. Gotta cool off. Beautiful.
Orders for me? I'm listening.
Very well. Yes. Well.
Orders for me?
Time for a swim? Don't get too excited. All right. Spring has sprung. Time to play. Beautiful.
If that's what you want. There.
Gotta cool off, of course. Don't get carried away. Sweet dreams.
I'm listening. Do you need a hug?
Very well. All right. Well. Oh!
Orders for me?
Spring has sprung. Time for a swim? Yes.
that's what you want.
Of course. Beautiful. Very well. Spring is sprung. All right. Say night-night.
Hey everyone, GuardianE here with another Camilla Emblem Clear video in Fire Emblem Heroes, today taking on Saint of Legend Seiros in her very own Mythic Hero Battle on Abyssal difficulty. So she's finally here, Seiros of Church of Seiros fame, in Three Houses, and her map is kind of an interesting one. It leaves a lot of opportunities depending on what teams you're able to build and pull together. I think certain teams are going to have a real easy time dealing with this particular configuration on the enemy forces, and some might struggle a little bit more. So let's start by taking a closer look at Seiros herself. So Seiros comes with Aurora Breath, which makes her quite the formidable opponent on both player phase or enemy phase. Grants her bonuses to attack while she's player phasing, grants her bonuses defensively when she's defending, and in either case, she negates the ability of the enemy to follow up attack against her to double her on enemy phase, and that ensures that she doubles on player phase. And that works perfectly, of course, with Mirror Impact, which also prevents the enemy's follow-up attack on her player phase, and she also comes with a Quick Riposte 3 on her seal, which guarantees her follow-up or double on enemy phase. So what does this all mean? What it all means is that all those skills together means that on either player phase or enemy phase, she is going to have skills that force her to double and prevent the enemy from doubling. So pretty nice all-around kit that she's got here. Glacies, of course, works great when she's got 52 resistance. That's going to hurt whenever that procs. And then Dragon Wall 3 is going to enhance her survivability by essentially providing her with a damage reduction as long as she has a certain amount of res over her opponent. And again, we just talked about how she has a whopping 52 res by default, not including the res that she gets from buffs. And then she comes with her own Wings of Light, which is an interesting... Unfortunately, I guess they can't really swap out a lot of the default kits of the Mythic Heroes, but Wings of Light basically does nothing on this map because it is exclusively buffing other Mythic Heroes, of which there will be none on this map because they're all going to be generic enemies. So it doesn't really do anything for her, but they did decide to keep it on her because, for consistency purposes. But you can see out of the gate there's some very interesting map configuration in terms of terrain. You have these pits here, as well as a bridge and then some walls. So because of that, it's easier to funnel the enemy in certain ways. The enemy configuration is going to have a wide variety of movement types. So there are going to be flyers mixed in with cavalry, so a lot of alternate ranges, a lot of danger ranges that overlap. So it's easy to get overrun, but at the same time, if you use the terrain to your advantage, you can funnel the enemies in certain ways. Plenty and plenty of reinforcements on the enemy side as we go through the turns, not triggered by any specific enemy deaths. They will just happen with each turn. So if you are not regularly and consistently taking out enemy forces, it is very, very easy to get a map full of enemies and get overwhelmed. So just bear that in mind. The enemy will also bum rush. They are going to advance on you, regardless of whether or not you bait them out. So on turn 1, they will start making their advance. Seiros herself doesn't move until turn 3, I believe. So there's a little bit of time before she starts making her approach, but the rest of the forces will start to advance on you. You will, of course, also notice that Seiros herself is a dragon, and she is also surrounded by dragons, and then we're also going to get dragon reinforcements, so there's going to be plenty of dragons on this map. So this might be a good opportunity to bust out those dragon killer weapons. They will certainly be put to good use on this map. Unfortunately, I don't really have any dragon killer weapons to use on my team, at least not at my disposal at the moment, so weren't able to really take advantage of that, but nevertheless, let's go ahead and take a look at the Camilla team. So first up, we got Vanilla Camilla here. Naturally emerged at plus 10 with 10 Dragon Flowers, Summoner Support, Speed Asset, has her Camilla's Axe with Special Refine, Reposition, Ether for the Special, Distant Counter for the A slot, Guard Bearing 3 for the B slot, Hone Flyers for the C slot, and Quick Riposte 3 for the Seal. I had originally had Mystic Boost on the Seal. Quick Riposte just ensured that she would double against a lot of the enemies. The enemies are going to get a huge number of boosts and buffs from their allies, so that makes things a little bit difficult to get the speed threshold to get those doubles on enemy phase, so Quick Riposte just kind of simplified that a lot. Next we got Spring Princess Camilla, Summoner Support, plus 10, 10 Dragon Flowers, Speed Asset, has Gronraven, Triangle Adept, Vantage for the B slot, Goad Flyers for the C slot, and Distant Defense 3 for the Seal, Draconic Aura for the Special, Reposition for the Assist naturally. We got Tropical Beauty Camilla, merged at plus 10 with 5 Dragon Flowers, Attack Asset, has Blarfox plus with Speed Refine, Reposition, Draconic Aura, Swift Sparrow 3 for the A slot, Desperation 3 for the B slot, Goad Flyers for the C slot, and Swift Sparrow 2 for the Seal. And finally, we have Light of Nor Camilla, Brave Camilla, merged at plus 10, 10 Dragon Flowers, Summoner Support, Attack Asset, has her native Sangreather, Rescue Plus for the Assist, Miracle, Attack Speed Push 4, Wrathful Staff 3, Goad Flyers, and Renewal 3 for the Seal. So what we want to do on turn 1 is just hug the danger zone and use the pits and the wall as a buffer for the enemy forces so we can take pot shots at them, whittle them down as we need to, and funnel them in the right direction. So we'll accomplish this first by, again, hugging the danger zone. We're going to go ahead and pull all of the Camillas up to the wall and the red zone as the enemy makes their approach. This particular configuration will force the enemy into a specific formation that I want for this turn. I had to kind of play around with that a little bit, but I wanted first and foremost to be able to take out some of the reds or limit the red movement on the enemy team in the form of the Sword Dragon and the red Manakete, as well as have a number of forces that Vanilla Camilla could enemy phase on the left-hand side. So here we are. And we're going to first use Brave Camilla just to limit the red Manakete. We're not going to be able to take her out, unfortunately, but we will do a lot of damage, have the gravity effect on her, so she basically can't do anything except attack Brave Camilla, who can tank that attack. Next, we're going to use Summer Camilla to go ahead and take out the Sword Dragon on player phase. She'll double and take her out, no problem. And then we're also going to reposition her to safety with Vanilla Camilla, leaving her in the range of the blue Fafnir, which is totally fine. We're going to let Spring Camilla just kind of sit there, provide the buffs to the other Camillas in the form of the Goad Flyers attack. There we go. Alright, and then the enemy is going to make their approach, and as you can see, there is the first wave of reinforcements. Now, I will just note that 2 enemies of particular nuisance that spawned on this turn is the Cleric over here. So she has Melancholy Plus, which is obnoxious because that does inflict guard on all of you in an area of effect if she does attack or is in combat. So that's pretty obnoxious. It does negate your ability to effectively use your specials. And of course, she has the Dazzling effect, which means you can't counterattack her. And then the Bow Cavalier back here obviously has extended range, being a Cavalier unit, being ranged. And of course, not only having the lull skill, but also having 2 attack enhancing skills in the A slot and the Seal, as well as Shining Bow Plus. And naturally, we're going to take a lot of damage from that just because we are flyers. So on this turn, we just want to finish off this red Manakete. The reds are a big threat here because my team is not fully equipped to take on reds. We want to take out the reds as efficiently as possible because the reds are a big threat for my team. I have 2 greens that are susceptible to red attacks, of course. Now, oftentimes what they'll do with Legendary or Mythic Hero battles is that with the Legendary or Mythic Hero themselves, whatever color they are, whatever color disadvantage they have, they're usually surrounded by or have a lot of reinforcements of enemies that help to supplement that weakness. So in this case, since she's weak against greens, she's going to have a lot of red reinforcements that appear. So we've taken out that Manakete, and then we want to kind of dismantle the left-hand side. So we're going to use Summer Camilla to go ahead and eliminate the Lance Flyer on player phase, take her out, and then we're also going to finish off the blue Fafnir with Vanilla Camilla on player phase, and in doing so, we're going to trap the Green Thief here, so the Green Thief can't even attack. They're just kind of stuck there, and leaving Vanilla Camilla in the range of the Green Fafnir, which is totally fine because I do want to enemy phase her. We're just going to shift Spring Camilla over so that she's in an appropriate position for the following turn. So there we go, buffs abound. We're going to tank that attack from the Green Fafnir, which is totally fine. Seiros is going to be making her approach, and we've got another wave of reinforcements. And like I said, reds galore, right? Those are oftentimes kind of the bigger threat here, for my team in particular. So we want to be very careful on this turn. There's a lot of enemies that are spawned. They've all lined up there, and we can use the terrain to our advantage so we don't get too overrun, because again, they can only cross certain areas either between a corridor or over a bridge. However, what we want to do at this point is actually take a pot shot at Seiros here with Spring Camilla. Obviously, it's not going to do a ton of damage, but what it's going to do, what is important for the following turn, is that it's going to trigger the Cleric's action prioritization to prioritize healing over attacking, because that's what we actually want for the following turn. And I'll show you why in just a second. So we're going to use this opportunity to use Rescue Plus just to kind of drag back Spring Camilla as well. And now Spring Camilla is in the range of the Cleric as well as the Bow Cavalier, right? So we want to eliminate the Bow Cavalier because they're probably the biggest threat on the enemy team right now. And so we want to be able to enemy phase him. And by leaving Spring Camilla there, she has color advantage, she's going to be able to eliminate. However, we don't want the Cleric attacking, because if the Cleric attacks, she's going to be blocking the Cavalier from attacking. So that's the whole logic between attacking Seiros here. That does mean the Cleric will prioritize healing her. So we're just going to fall back here. Unfortunately, Summer Camilla can't really do much at this point. Now we're going to fall back with Vanilla Camilla so that she can actually tank both the Fafnir to finish the Fafnir off and the Green Dagger unit Thief as well. So there we go. And then, of course, the Bow Cavalier also goes down, enemy phased by Spring Camilla. There we go. Activate that Ether, get a little bit of healing back. And again, it just showcases how powerful Vanilla Camilla can be when she has some sustain with Ether as well as Guard Bearing. I don't have Mystic Boost on her right now, but as you can imagine, it's a pretty potent combination. So now these oncoming red forces are actually a huge threat for my team. Like I said, they have considerable defenses. I mean, look at those defenses. And I don't have a super easy way of taking them out except for Summer Camilla. So we're going to use, again, Rescue Plus to pull Summer Camilla in range and use her to take out the red Fafnir here on player phase. That's going to leave her in the range of the Sword Cavalier. And again, with the pits in the bridge, the rest of my Camillas are safe, and Summer Camilla is essentially blocking the way. And that's exactly what we want, because despite not having the best defenses, color advantage and having 28 defense and not being doubled or quadded in this case, she can take that without any difficulty. And she's also going to be able to sustain an attack from the Cleric. Now we're going to move Vanilla Camilla right here, still keeping her in the danger zone. And we want that specifically because we want to be able to enemy phase the green flyer that's coming in right about now. Yeah, there we go. And then she'll get enemy phased and destroyed. Seiros continuing to make their approach. We are thinning the ranks. And at this juncture, we just want to slow Seiros' approach. I mean, that's really kind of the name of the game at this point. Safely slowing Seiros' approach while dismantling the rest of the enemy forces. So we want to use Brave Camilla just to inflict that gravity on her. And as she's gravitied, we can also go ahead and just use Spring Camilla to take out and finish off the Cleric here. There we go. We'll use Summer Camilla to finish off the Sword Cavalier. And then we're just going to use Vanilla Camilla again to reposition Brave Camilla to safety. Now that's going to leave Vanilla Camilla in the range of the Red Tome user, but she can tank that because she's got that Guard Bearing. So she's not going to get doubled, she's totally fine, and we'll finish off the Red Flyer with Summer Camilla there. Once again, we're going to just be inflicting the gravity just to maintain some safety here on Seiros, reposition back to safety, and then get in formation for the final kill as Seiros makes her approach. Now we can just team up on her. Of course, she is very, very tanky, so we're going to have to gang up on her a little bit, unfortunately, and proc that Ether at the end to finish her off. So there we go. That is the strategy that I employed with Camilla Emblem to clear Saint of Legend Seiros on our very own Mythic Hero Battle on Abyssal difficulty. Let me know what teams and units you ended up using to clear this Abyssal level challenge. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching and for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We really, really do appreciate it. Certainly hoping you're all staying safe, healthy, secure, and united out there, and wishing the very, very best for you, your family, and your friends. And until next time, let's protect those skies.